Hi, thank you for coming today to another day of Cyber English. Today's day is going to be job interview. How you're gonna get hired, how you're gonna nail that job. So whenever we say nail, again pronunciation nail.
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 Very good. What is nail? To nail is to get what you want. Okay. So you say, I'm gonna nail that girl. It means that you're gonna get that girl, that person. You're gonna say, gonna nail that object, that objective, that main thing that you want. So you say, you nail it. Again, pronunciation, nail it.
Nail.
Nail.
Also, another way to say nail it is to say excel. Pronunciation, excel.
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 Very good. So you say, well, I'm going to excel the expectations. I'm going to be the best. So where I'm going to teach you how to make progress, how to establish a good connection with your English skills. So the important thing here is in a job interview is to get hired. Again, pronunciation, get hired.
Get hired.
Get hired.
Very good. Get hired. Pronunciation, get hired.
Get hired.
Very
Get
good.
hired.
It means that somebody gets a contract on you to master a contract. Master your English. It means to dominate your English, to make sure that you feel sure, you feel secure with what you actually know, and you make it feel like actually you know it. Okay, so the techniques that we're going to be using are two. It's going to be called, a method is called cortina, or also we call it a shield technique. In this shield technique, we're going to learn how to establish a connection, how to establish knowledge, how to understand what is the knowledge about, and how this knowledge is going to help us in building a new experience. So how do we start this? And what is the outlook for this? Well, we have to look at the 2024 job outlook. Okay, repeat after me. Outlook.
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 Very good. Again, outlook.
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 Outlook. Again, outlook.
Outlook.
That's correct. Okay, so what is the outlook? Outlook is going to tell you the complete page of a situation. So if I'm going to establish the outlook, it's going to be the perspective. Okay, so when you want to talk about perspective, if you want to talk about what is going to happen, a forecast, the surrounding of something, you say outlook. Again, pronunciation, outlook.
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 Very good. So we have the job outlook for 2024. So on this outlook, we're going to see that professionals, especially all professionals, are going to work on cybersecurity. 32% is going to go from 22 to 2032. So we have 10 years to prepare for the next following areas. The first area is going to be to become a Chief Information Security Officer. Again, pronunciation, Chief.
Chief.
Information Security Officer.
Chief Information Security Officer.
Okay, so who's this person? Who's this Chief Information Security Officer? It's a CISO. So we call it a CISO.
CISO.
Very good. So that's the first profile that we're going to be building. Okay, so we're going to need some knowledge, we're going to need some terminology, and that terminology is going to help us to establish how we are going to concentrate on cybersecurity. Then we have information security analyst. Again, pronunciation, information security analyst.
Security analyst.
Very good. Now, the next step that we're going to take is going to be the cybersecurity engineer. Again, pronunciation, cybersecurity engineer.
Cybersecurity engineer.
Very good. So again, engineer. Well, let's start with the profiles of 2024. The Chief Information Security Officer is going to be responsible for the security of the infrastructure, but he's also going to be liable for all the legal prospects or the legal aspects of the information security services. So the CISO is going to establish how the responsibility is going to have a burden of law, how the burden of law is going to continue with anything else. So then we have the information security analyst. Another name just to say is CISA analyst. Okay, so he's an analyst. It means that he's just an information security analyst. You don't need to say the complete name. You only need to say analyst. Again, pronunciation, analyst.
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 Again, the T very strong, please. It's analyst.
Analyst.
Analyst. Again, analyst.
Analyst.
Again, information security analyst.
Information security analyst.
Okay, so then the next profile that we're gonna have is cybersecurity engineer. Again, cybersecurity engineer.
Cybersecurity engineer.
Engineer.
Very good. Roberto, start yourself. Chief.
Chief Information Security Officer, CISO.
Right.
Information Security Analyst and Cybersecurity Engineer.
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 It comes from the word engine. Although it's engine, we don't say engineer. We say engineer. So we say engineer. E-E. Engineer.
Engineer. Engineer.
Very good. Fernando. Chief.
Chief Information Security Officer, Information Security Analyst, Cybersecurity Engineer. Cybersecurity Engineer.
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 Very good. Alberto.
Chief Security Analyst.
No, again, Chief Information Security Officer.
Oh, sorry. Chief Information Security Officer.
Very good. Information Security Analyst.
Information Security Analyst.
Correct. Then we have a Cybersecurity Engineer.
Cybersecurity Engineer.
Correct. Very good. Let's go to the next one. So we have the three main important things for this Cybersecurity 2024 Outlook. Now, there is a new outlook, and there is also another position that we're going to be taking in consideration, which is the security architect. So let's look at every profile. Again, pronunciation, profile.
Profile.
Again,
Profile.
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 Very good. So one thing is the profile, and then we have the job descriptions. We're going to look in the internet at each one of these job descriptions, and especially how much are they going to get paid. Okay. Why are we getting in the thing how much we're going to get paid for this? Because the more we know about how much we're going to pay, it's also the responsibility. Remember that every profile is going to have some kind of responsibility. So if we're looking at the type of responsibility, it also increases the skills that we're going to need in each one of them. So I'm going to interview you. We're going to practice how you're going to be interviewed with us with some simple questions. And these simple questions, I'm going to see if you understand or not cyber English. Okay. So the first one, it's going to be the Chief Information Security Officer, or CISO. He is a senior executive role, involves creating and executing an information security program to protect an organization's data and systems, overseeing, again, pronunciation, overseeing. Right, very good, important. This is the kind of words that you need to understand and learn. So when you're in a job interview, you want to be very professional. So the word overseeing is a very professional word. It means that you can prevent, okay? Overseeing is to prevent and to do something about it. Overseeing, that's why it comes from see. So somebody that oversees something is somebody that predicts, but also applies something, okay? So the information security officer is going to predict most of the attacks, but all of those attacks are going to be based on a pattern. It's going to establish on the organization's data. So he's going to establish what is the data, what is the system, and how is this management going to be working. So he's going to align, again, pronunciation, align.
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 Very good. Remember that here in cybersecurity English, we're going to need special kinds of verbs. So these kind of verbs are going to be for our profession, but also for the professional background. So I need you to understand and study these verbs. Align, again, pronunciation, align,
Align.
is alinear.
Align.
It's a very professional verb. So that's why you need to see what is overseeing, okay, which is to predict, align, which is alinear, okay? So there are two very important verbs that you're gonna be using when you get into a job interview. So you're gonna be asked, why do you want to be a Chief Information Security Officer? Well, I'd like to be a Chief Information Security Officer because I am good, or I have the capability, pronunciation capability.
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 Very good. It means that you have the ability to command, to perform. So you say capability, capability. I have the capability to oversee and align the security measures with the business objective. That's very important. So you have to say that you are able to align the objectives of the company to the information security policies. You don't do more, you don't do less. You do exactly what you're asked. And especially you make it profitable. Again, pronunciation, profitable.
Profitable.
Very good. It means making money, okay? We don't need an information security policy that is very complex, with a lot of legal perspectives, with less legal perspectives. It's got to be in the middle. So you need to build something, some structures, very, very confident structures. Again, pronunciation, confident.
Confident.
So confident means strong, okay? So you say, well, to be honest, I'm very confident that the procedures are outstanding. Again, pronunciation, outstanding.
Outstanding.
Very good. And then again, it means that it's strong. So again, a Chief Information Security Officer is going to be providing the policies, but policies that make money. Good information security policies, good security policies, but they have to be aligned. Again, pronunciation, aligned.
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 Very good, with the security measures. So after the Chief Information Security Officers, we're going to have the Information Security Analyst. The Information Security Analyst is a low profile job. Low. High, it's a Chief Information Security Officers. It implies a lot of responsibility. And an Information Security Analyst, it has less responsibility. So if there's less responsibility, it means that you're going to get paid less, but it's more secure because you don't need to take decisions. So let's see at the profile. Again, pronunciation, profile.
Profile.
Very good.
Profile.
So it's professionals in this role are responsible for installing. Again, pronunciation, installing.
Installing.
So you see the word, the verb installing, you're only going to use it in policy making. You don't use it in software. You can say install the software, install Microsoft. Yes, that's it. You don't use it for another thing. I don't know why especially people in cybersecurity, they use the word install for everything. Well, please install the service. No, it's not installed in the server. No, we don't use install. We say that it's attached. We say that it's inside of it, that we say it's over, but try not to use the word install because it means that you're also going to talk about policy or just software. So installing protective software, monitoring for potential breaches, again, pronunciation, breaches.
Breaches.
Very good. So the job is to be monitoring breaches and responding to attacks. Very good. So when you respond to attack, you're also part of being an analyst. They work across various industries, including computer system design, fintech, insurance, and IT, information technology. Okay. So all of this is information security analyst. Again, pronunciation, analyst.
Analyst.
Very good. So then we have cybersecurity engineer. Again, pronunciation, cybersecurity engineer.
Cybersecurity
engineer.
Very good. Cybersecurity engineer.
Cybersecurity engineer.
Okay, so these engineers design and develop. Again, pronunciation, develop. Very good. Software and systems. Their responsibilities range, again, pronunciation, range
approach.
From conducting
From conducting
penetration tests
Penetration test.
penetration test
to auditing system performance.
auditing
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 system performance.
system performance.
Very good. And identifying vulnerabilities.
And identify
vulnerability.
vulnerabilities.
Very good. So,
Vulnerability.
Roberto, security architect, continue.
This role combines hardware and software expertise and involves anticipating potential threats and
Threat. Again, pronunciation.
Threats.
Threats.
and designing systems to address them.
Address them. No, after me, Roberto. This role, very good. The role is going to be with a very profound sound because you have a consonant. So you say this role combines hardware and software expertise and involves anticipating potential threats. Very good. And designing systems to address them. Security architects strategize. Implement. And oversee computer and network security systems.
computer and network security systems.
Almost. Now yourself, all together, real quick. This role combines
hardware and software expertise and
expertise.
And involves anticipating potential threats and designing system to address them.
Address them. You have a double D and you have a double S, so you say address. See the difference. When you put the address of where you live, you pronounce address. When you see it like this, you pronounce differently and say address. Again, pronunciation, address. Address. It's the same word, but it has a different intonation. In this case, which is a professional setting, so you say address means to face, to challenge. Okay, so you say, Felipe, you need to address your fears. You need to get in front of your fears. So you say address. Again, pronunciation, address. And when you ask, where do you live? You say, what's your address? It's different. You say it's address. Again, pronunciation, address. So I say, Roberto, what's your address? I live in Colonia Condesa. Oh, okay. So you have an address. Again, pronunciation, address. And here it's different. We say address. Mhm. So it's another intonation and it's a different setting. It means to face. Do you understand, Roberto?
Yes.
Very good. Again, from the beginning, this role combines
hardware and software expertise and involves anticipating potential threats and designing systems to address them. Security architects strategize, implement, and oversee computer and network security systems.
Almost. Very good. Now repeat after me. Threats. No. Here this THREA, we say threats. Again, threats. Very good. Again, threats. Excellent. Very good. So all of these are the basic. Now continue, please, Alberto. Cybersecurity engineer.
Cybersecurity engineer.
These
engineers design and develop cybersecurity software and systems. Their responsibilities range from conducting.
This is like an O sound, so we pronounce O sound. Conducting.
Okay. Conducting penetration test to auditing system.
All of these we're going to pronounce like odd sounds. So we say auditing. Very good. Auditing system performance.
And identifying vulnerabilities.
Very good. Fernando, please, all together. These engineers
design and developed
develop
cybersecurity software and systems. Their responsibilities range from conducting penetration tests to
auditing.
auditing.
All of this, we're going to pronounce auditing.
Auditing system performance and identifying vulnerabilities.
Very good. So these are the most common profiles that we're going to have for cybersecurity on the next year, on 2024. Now let's see about how do we establish a building communication with them. Okay, so first you have to prepare for your interview. Like right now, you need to check what are the basic understandings of and concepts. Okay, so what are the understanding? What you understand probably is not the same as what the real thing is. So you have to check what you understand and the key concepts. Okay, if you ask ChatGPT everything and say, what is the concept about that? It's not going to give you a precise or correct concept. That's why you need to check if the concepts that you think you know are still current. It means that if they're still actual. Okay, so after that, we're going to check tools and techniques. So you need to check what are the tools and techniques for that job requirement. So what are the latest tools, if there is any patch, if there's anything that you need to understand before you go into the interview. After that, we are going to check security protocols and standards. So if there's any security protocol or standards that you need to check before. Okay, next, remember, always establish the conversation with an icebreaker. Always. A conversation always goes with an icebreaker. Again, pronunciation, icebreaker.
Icebreaker.
Okay, a very common icebreaker. Hey, how are you? Hey, wow, it's very cold in here, right? So you're from Mexico. Hey, where are you from? That's an icebreaker. Okay, so but when you have an interviewer, you have to check that if the icebreaker it's interesting enough. Probably they're gonna say to you, so was it difficult to get here? I don't know why people keep asking that, but anyway, it's like a key question that I always say. So was it difficult to come here? No, it's okay, not very far. Okay, do you want some water? That's also part of the icebreaker. Okay, see how you make comfort. You can make a connection with the person, but then that connection starts with the rapport. Again, pronunciation, rapport.
Rapport.
Double P, so we say rapport.
Rapport.
So what is the rapport? The connection between you and the person. So you need to establish a connection. So do you like the Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys? Sure, I like Dallas Cowboys. Well, I think that game was great, right? Yeah, I like it. Do you like ice cream? Yeah, I kind of like ice cream. So tell me how everything is around here. So I heard that there is some good news over here, right? I think I believe that there is some changes in the company. Well, that kind of things is also bringing rapport. Remember not to talk a lot about the company and trying to establish the connection. So as you continue with the rapport, you get into the interview. So, or you establish or say goodbye to the small talk. Again, pronunciation, small talk.
Small talk.
Small talk.
Small talk.
So we have a chit chat. You can also call it chit chat or small talk. It's a simple conversation before you jump into the context of the job interview, so you can feel comfortable. So you say wrap up. Again, pronunciation, wrap up.
Wrap up.
Wrap up.
Wrap up.
Wrap up.
Wrap up.
Very good. As you can see here, our little doggy, it's wrap up. So it's time to get ready and then continue. Okay, again, pronunciation, wrap up.
Wrap up.
Very good. So let's see. You already established the rapport. You already studied for the interview. Let's get into it. So, Roberto.
Hey, yes.
So let's suppose that I'm going to start the interview. Okay, I'm going to ask you the 3 main questions that somebody is going to ask you as an ethical hacker. Okay, so I'm gonna ask to you. Tell me, Roberto, so you want to work as an ethical hacker, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, you know, the requirements for an ethical hacker is to have a lot of skills. Also, we need organizational skills. You need to be very punctual. Do you consider yourself very punctual?
You can repeat?
Do you
No.
consider yourself punctual?
The last word, what is?
Punctual, punctuality.
Yes.
Yes, I'm very punctual.
Yes, I'm very functional.
Punctual.
Function.
Like
Punch-
puntual, but we're gonna say punctual.
Punctual.
Punctual. Very good, almost. Okay, so you're very punctual. Okay, very good. Well, now I'm gonna start with my job is to interview you about the technical words or the technical skills that you need to know. So tell me, what are some common tools used in ethical hacking, and for what purposes are they used? So, quick question. You don't freak out. So you need to listen to the question. So they say, what are some common tools used in ethical hacking, and for what purpose are they used? So they're asking you two questions. In one question, they're asking you two questions. So only concentrate on tools for ethical hacking. Okay, so you can talk about Metasploit, for example. One of the tools is Metasploit. One of the assessment is to say a vulnerability assessment. You use Metasploit for vulnerability assessment, like Nessus. So you use Nessus and use Metasploit as a phrase that starts for the penetration testing. So then you start with the penetration testing. You can give a little explanation about what is penetration testing. So you can say, well, a penetration test involves planning and reconnaissance to define objectives and gather intelligence. Scanning with tools like Nmap, Nessus for vulnerabilities, exploiting these vulnerabilities, possibly using Metasploit, maintaining access for data harvesting, and culminates in a comprehensive analysis and reporting phase to document findings and suggest remediations. Excellent, I got you hired. Yeah, but you see, you start with little, and then you can say something very complex like this. But the best thing when you start with a conversation is to make it very simple. Okay, so let's start again, Roberto. Tell me, what are some common tools used in ethical hacking, and for what purposes are they used?
Well, we use Metasploit for scan vulnerability assessment, like Nessus, to do penetration testing and phases.
On phases, very good.
Phases.
Excellent. You see, you don't need to say all of this conversation. You can, I mean, you can study for that. But whenever you start working like that, probably it's gonna start, saying less and less information about this. Okay. So the best way to go around a question is to say something very, very concrete about it. So when you talk about concrete, like you just did it, that's the best idea. So second question, can you describe a recent vulnerability assessment you conducted and the tools you used?
Again?
Can you describe a recent vulnerability assessment you conducted and the tools you used?
We find that.
Stop. First, think if you can answer the question. If you cannot answer the question, you can start with an easy trick and say, I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to talk about previous employers. That's a very tricky question because you might actually don't know the answer. You have two choices, either answer or not answer. But if you are willing not to answer because you don't understand the question probably, so you only say, excuse me, I cannot talk about previous job exercises for security purposes. Oh, okay, that's a good question. That means that you're being ethical and you fulfill legal compliance. You understand, Carlos?
Yes.
Okay, now let's suppose that you want to answer. What answer can you start? First, start with the time. Recently, 2 years ago, 1 week ago, a year ago, a month ago, then you can start from there and make it simple. Example, well, last week, we discovered a couple of we found a lot of vulnerabilities on the system of my client, and we provided a penetration testing by phases. Very quick, very simple, not more, not less. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, now use it with your experience. Tell me, describe to me a recent vulnerability assessment you conducted and the tools you used.
I cannot explain everything, but I can say
For security purposes, you have to say that.
for security purposes, but I can tell you we found a ransomware in a system, and we searched the origin and stopped the attack with some tools like antivirus.
With an antivirus, like an antivirus. Okay. I'm not sure if that's a tool, but sure, no problem. Then look at the other question. Explain the process of a penetration test from planning to reporting. So this is a tricky question because they're going to ask you, how do you organize yourself? Okay, so they're going to see if you understand in English what you're asked and if you're able to commit to a timeline. This is what we established first, a timeline. This is a time. So to do everything in order, first and last, how you think. If you have basic understandings, if you have tools and techniques, or if you have security protocols and standards that they can learn from you. That's what they want to hear from you. Okay, so let's go again to the question. Explain the process, please. What is the process of the penetration test that you said from the planning to reporting? How do you start with that?
I don't find the words to explain that. Yes.
Okay, you can always start from the beginning. Make it simple. What will be the process? Well, first, we went to the company. That's the first thing, right? So we arrived, we checked the systems, or if you didn't, if you did it remotely, well, we did it remotely, and I asked the person to provide me with his request. First, the request means that you understand the backgrounds of the law. So we asked for the request, and then we started, executing a metasploit, for example. And we used a vulnerability assessment like Nessus. Simple, very simple. You see, you're using again the same words, but the test, it says, well, first I talked to my team, I assessed my team, I built a team of 5 people, and then this time of 5 people, then we went ahead and enjoyed the whole process because the process was easy to follow and easy to exercise. You see?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So these are the kind of questions I'm gonna be asking tomorrow. So I'm gonna see you tomorrow. So remember that this is about understanding, researching, and practicing. So I'm gonna give you these key facts so you can also, I need you to build quick questions about the other profiles, like Chief Information Security Officers, Information Security Analyst, Cybersecurity Engineer, and Security Architect. Okay, very good. Entonces, hoy en la clase, in order to wrap up, we checamos la siguiente información. Primero vimos cómo es el escenario 2024 del trabajo. ¿Cuáles son los trabajos que más le van a pedir? Uno de ellos es el de experto en ciberseguridad. Entonces, como experto en ciberseguridad, vamos a ver cuáles son los tipos de expertos en ciberseguridad. Primero está el CISO, que es Chief Information Security Officer. Después tenemos al analista de seguridad de la información. Y después al ingeniero, al Cybersecurity Engineer. Después del Cybersecurity Engineer tuvimos a los 4 perfiles que más se van a usar en esto de la seguridad, que es el CISO, es el Information Analyst, el ingeniero de la ciberseguridad y el arquitecto, que es el Security Architect. Aquí vimos las actividades y sobre todo los conocimientos en específico de manera profesional que se va a usar. Después vimos cuáles son las estrategias para poder establecer una entrevista para cada uno de estos perfiles. Primero, saber los conceptos básicos, Basic Understanding and Concepts. Después vimos cuáles las técnicas, las herramientas, lo que yo sí sé de las técnicas del hackeo ético o no ético, de lo que me estén preguntando, para responder a cualquier duda. Después, hablar de protocolos de seguridad y estándares, muy importante. Entonces, una vez que ya construí todo esto antes de llegar a la entrevista, tengo que prepararme para hablar con esa persona y hablarle como un humano. No de los sistemas, no de los conceptos. Entonces, hablamos de las 3 estrategias. El icebreaker, romper el hielo de la conversación. Un rapport, la conexión después de ese hielo. Y el wrap-up, ya listos para entrar a la entrevista y empezar a hablar de manera técnica. Entonces, una vez que empezamos con estas técnicas, ahora sí, vamos a ver cuáles son, tenemos que empezar a denotar cuáles son las preguntas más comunes que me preguntaron por cada perfil. ¿Cuáles son las herramientas que yo tendría a la mano por el estado de la técnica? Y hacer una elaboración, lo que llamamos una nutshell. ¿Qué es el nutshell? Dime en concreto qué es lo que podríamos hacer por cada pregunta. Y de esa pregunta, hipotéticamente, hacer un assessment. Como yo lo hice aquí de manera concreta, toda la explicación, eso se llama Key Concept Assessment. Todo eso es una pequeña parte de lo que vamos a ver de cómo conseguir ese trabajo en ciberseguridad. Date la oportunidad. Este fue Felipe Vélez y estamos a sus órdenes. Nos vemos mañana de 9
Gracias.
a 10. Hasta luego.
Good night, everybody.
Good
See you
night.
tomorrow.